Hey guys! Today we're going to be watching the first Punic War blind. And I specifically use the word blind because I literally don't even know what the Punic War is. I know that it's embarrassing. I know that someone's probably going to make fun of me in the comments. But listen, I've been on my history binge. I finally want to learn about history because I didn't when I was younger. And here we are today. So without further ado, let's give the video a watch.
This video was made possible by NordVPN. Click the link below and get an exclusive deal with a huge discount and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Introducing our new, glorious, breathtaking bucket plushie. Limited
Oh my
quantity.
god, no way! Wait, I literally have my own plushie drop going on right now, as you can like probably see down there. I'll put the link to the petition if you want to pre-order. It's only $2 to do so. So yeah, feel free to check it out if you want. Also, this bucket plush is amazing though. If it's still available, I genuinely might buy it.
Available now.
Like, if you've never seen on my Saturday streams, I'm, in Kigurumi in my room, and I have a giant plushie fortress. I think this guy would be a really good fit.
Along with some Punic War character pins. Buy them,
I also
or
kinda
I'll
wanna get the
marry
pins,
your
too.
mother. It's your choice.
Oh, Marcellus, you sure have a lot of dignitas. Kiss me.
Okay. Hey, Dad.
Wait, that's him? Oh my god, he just ate them!
Hi, son. Just reading the newspaper. What can I do for you? Well, you know how you always say Rome is the greatest civilization in the world? It bloody well is. Well, I was just wondering, what makes us so great? How did we come to be? Wow. My son. Boy.
I can't believe he's already inquiring about stuff like this. I'm over here as an adult only asking now. Oh my gosh, what a good boy.
Let me take you on a journey to this side of the room. The story of Rome begins with these beautiful baby boys going to town on some she-wolf mommy milkers. That's gross. You're gross! Sorry, son. You're not gross. I love you. They're...
Oh my god, wait. Oh my gosh, I think I was blocking it. Hold on, I'm gonna move over a little bit. Look at him. Do you guys know like the long dog face? Like the dog with the really long face? That has to be like a parody of him, right? Oh my god, it's so adorable. It's funny.
They're called Romulus and Remus, and when they grew up
Romulus
in
and
753 BC, they
Are you more of like a Romulus or a Remus, you think? I feel like I'm more Romulus personally.
founded Rome. But there was just one problem.
I hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the future. Is he like a really bad guy? Oh my god, I have no idea.
They couldn't agree on which of them should be the king, but they worked it out peacefully, right? Oh, heavens no.
Oh,
Romulus
no.
caved Remus's skull in with a shovel.
No! Oh my god, I can't believe that. I literally just can't believe that already just happened.
Here's a picture. Our first king committed fratricide? I know. Look at his face. When's the part where we become the greatest civilization, Dad? Well, you see, at first Rome was full of men. I'm talking like a real
Listen, if you don't buy my plushie, I'm gonna pull a Romulus on your ass, okay?
sausage party. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. So we invited some neighboring cities over for a big feast. And then we literally kidnapped all of their women. Here's a picture. Look at that one. She's like...
Oh
This is
my
messed up.
God.
You're messed up. Ugh. Sorry. I'll be a better father. I promise. So then, finally, after centuries of monarchy, those tyrannical kings started getting a little too big for their britches. So we overthrew the kings and established Rome as a republic. Is that when all the killing stopped? Oh,
No.
heavens, no. That's when the killing surged.
I'm sorry,
baby.
I can even
We
answer
went-
that one. Like, the killing never stops. It's not even done yet now, today, in 2025. I can only imagine how much murder happened in 500 BC. Dude, people are dying left and right.
Wild and conquered the Latin League, the Samnites, the Etruscans. Woo! What a rush! Dad, Rome seems pretty barbaric. You're barbaric! Oh, I forgot to tell you about the time a prophet told Saturn his son would one day overthrow him. So Saturn literally ate his own son seconds after he was born. I don't want to see
What?
pictures.
Are you, like, is that for real? I thought only, like, goldfish did that. I say that because I had a goldfish who did that. He was actually not a goldfish. He was a guppy. But I think goldfish also do it. Maybe they don't. I shouldn't be judging goldfish like this, okay? I shouldn't be throwing out goldfish misinformation.
Picture. Dad! Look
Oh
at
my
that!
god, I've seen this picture, like, a lot. That's what it's from? I didn't even realize that's supposed to be a human. I thought it was like a monster from like some kind of Norse mythology or something.
That's messed up, man. Are we really this uncivilized? Hey, hey! If we were so uncivilized, would we use communal toilets where we all fart and poo together in one big stinky, steamy, dirty toilet room? Yeah, Dad. We would! Clean your butt with a sponge, Timulus! But all these guys just used it! What's wrong with your son, bro? I don't want to be Roman. This is so weird. You're weird! Sorry, you're not
At
weird.
least they got some water to wash them off of it, I guess. Ugh.
I'm sure you're probably fine.
Just like sitting across from someone like this and pooping together, I mean, clearly you would just get over it. Or it might not even seem weird to you, you know, if this is all you know, right? But God, I just can't even imagine. I just can't even imagine, man. Like I remember I mentioned people being poop shy and being like, because there was some video I was reacting to where I don't know. Apparently, they're talking about some like really bad pee shyness, and I was like, no way it gets that bad. And then some people commented about like how badly they're genuinely like struggling with it, and I don't know. I can only imagine what would happen to those people. They would just never poop again, right? They would just die from not pooping.
The Roman Republic, a nation that, since its foundation, had been stabbing necks all the way down the Italian peninsula. But this isn't the famous Roman Empire that ruled the known world. Not yet anyway. This is a relatively juvenile Rome, still just a regional power. In 264 BC,
Just
the
like
big
my
daddy
baby.
of the Western
Guys, I
Mediterranean.
recently had a baby. If you didn't know, too, you can go to my channel if you'd like. You could click in. The video is titled "I Have a Child." I'd really recommend that video. It's super good.
Was Carthage. Let's rewind a bit. Carthage was founded in 814 BC when some Phoenicians in Tyre had a mega surplus of goods and decided to export those goods across the Mediterranean. They became the dominant trading power in the region, and to support their growing trade network, the Phoenicians established a number of colonies, one of which was Carthage. Therefore, Carthage began its life as a Phoenician trade colony,
It's a
and the
cool-ass city.
Carthaginians were actually Phoenicians. Or, if you're a Latin-speaking Roman, they were Punic, hence the name of the video. Over the centuries,
Dude, I'm that guy that just said "oh" at the same time. Oh my God.
Carthage gradually expanded.
They got some good goods they were distributing though. What was that? Some like iron, some clothes, some wine. I mean, don't get better than that, really.
And became the region's base of power. Just like Rome, Carthage was a semi-democratic republic with its own senate and judiciary. But there were also some pretty hefty differences between the two. While Rome was big into farming and stabbing people in the neck, the Carthaginians, on
You would think those two things wouldn't really go together. You know what I mean?
the other hand, just
It's like saying like oh God. That's saying like bronchiosauruses, you know, only ate plants, but then also loved killing other dinosaurs. You know what I mean? Just doesn't make sense.
like their Phoenician forefathers, had built their power through trade and navigating the waves. They went here and there, selling ivory tusks, gold, and slaves. And as a result, they were rolling in it.
That's
Whenever
horrible,
they
man.
weren't
Did the
busy
sign say like
swimming around in
save
their
2 for 1
copious
or
hoards of
something?
money
Buy
in
one
their
get
spare
2
time,
free.
they also possibly enjoyed sacrificing their children to Baal, the god of... Let me just check my notes.
I thought they said bow, and I was like, anyway, this is effed up, man. People were into some crazy shit back in the day, eh?
Ah,
People are into some really crazy shit today, though, too, to be honest.
yes. Plant fertility. Oh boy, these figs aren't looking too hot. Maybe if I throw my son into a burning pit of fire, they'll grow. Have you tried watering them, Dad? No, we'll try that second. As a result of all their trading, Carthage had
real,
emerged as one of
though.
the Mediterranean superpowers. But wait, they said. Rome? What the heck is that? Well, I know it's a pretty obscure little country that you've probably never heard of. But this spunky young nation was about to upset the entire region's balance of power. Initially, the two sides enjoyed relatively friendly relations, and had even signed a couple treaties. But it was a relationship that was practically destined to turn sour.
Dude,
See,
why is everyone
Rome had
stabbed
a
in the
thing
neck?
where they like to aggressively expand their boundaries, often viewing such expansion as a defensive act. Kinda like when you kill your neighbor, because you knew eventually they would have tried to kill you first.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
I've heard
Carthage
about
was
that one
extremely
before.
protective of its wealthy trade network. So if you put a very strategically important island between them, well, 2 + 2 equals war. Tensions rose, and the two sides began viewing each other with increasing disdain. The hard-working
Understood.
Romans looked across the water at the money-hungry Carthaginians and said, "Look at those dishonest crooks. Bet they've never done an honest day's work in their lives." And the Carthaginians looked back and said, "Look at those simple-minded brutes. Bet they've never sacrificed a baby in their lives." Yeah! While war between the two superpowers seemed inevitable, the event that finally triggered it was a little unexpected. The whole thing began with a few simple mad lads on a wild night out. These mad lads are called the Mamertines. They were Italian mercenaries employed by the tyrant of Syracuse, here. But when he died, his successor said, "Sorry fellas, we don't need any big burly men with sharp sticks anymore. You can all go home."
Damn.
The Mamertines, as it turned out, didn't want to go home. So instead, they went to the nearby town of Messana and said, "Hey man, we are but poor little buff boys without a home. May we come in?" Aw, poor fellas. Sure thing. Just so long as you promise not to massacre all of us. We promise. The Mamertines then massacred all of them. Well, not all of them, just the men. And they stole their homes and families. Ha! This is my house now.
That's
This is my
crazy,
best dad
man.
ever mug now. And you guys are my new family. Son, wanna go play catch with your old papa? You're not my real dad! Ugh, teenagers. Am I right, dear? You're not my real husband. Ugh, I'm so trapped in this marriage. Then get out! No, Messana was now controlled by the Mamertines, and they began raiding up and down the Syracuse coastline. When the new ruler of Syracuse saw this,
That's crazy, man. They left home, took over another area, and now they're just coming back to fuck shit up at their old home.
wasn't happy. The Syracusans began fighting back, and in response, the Mamertines said, "Oh crap, they're fighting back? What do we do? Quick, we'll convince the Carthaginians to come and save us." Oh no! We're in trouble, and we need a big, strong empire to come and rub our bellies. Why are you saying it like that? If I was a big, strong empire, I think I'd like to be seduced. See? It's working! The Carthaginians had long dreamed of controlling all of Sicily. They had been fighting Syracuse and their Greek influence on the island for centuries. And now, here was a great opportunity to get one over on them. So Carthage promptly answered the Mamertines' cry for help and sent a force to garrison Messana. As it turned out, however, some within the ranks of the Mamertines weren't too happy with the occupying Carthaginians, and they sent out a second cry for help to Rome. When it reached the Roman
Wow.
Senate, they were a little more hesitant. Going to help the Mamertines ran the risk of triggering an all-out war with Carthage, and they had only just finished conquering the Italian peninsula, so they were kind of tired. Plus, the Mamertines were all the way across the water.
God, dude, I want a bubble bath thing, dude. I really want a bubble bath. I haven't recently cleaned my bathtub, so I definitely could. Like, I clean my bathtub often, but in terms of like really getting in the drain and like, you know, deep cleaning it, you know?
Never made a leap like that before. So you would assume that to avoid any conflict with Carthage, the exhausted Romans would probably sit this one out. But you would assume wrong. Rome just couldn't resist a good chance for war. Why? Well, there's something you gotta understand about Rome. See, as a republic, they were hell-bent on preventing any one man from ever gaining too much power. And so rather than having one leader, Rome had two, called consuls, who shared power. These consuls could also only serve for 1 year at a time before new consuls
Wow.
were elected. These measures to limit the powers of the consuls were noble, but had an interesting side effect. The consuls knew they had just 1 year to try and gain as much
Exactly.
glory and prestige as possible, something that was very important in Roman society. And the best way of gaining glory and prestige? Military victory, of course. The Roman political system basically ended up encouraging these consuls to go out and be as aggressive as your Italian grandmother when you don't eat all the spaghetti. And so the glory-seeking consuls convinced the people to vote in favor of going to Messana. And in they went. Upon the arrival of the Romans, the Carthaginians in the city, amongst the confusion, were forced to leave. Now, in contrast to Roman aggression, the Carthaginian military had a slightly different philosophy. All right, kids, listen up. If you want to grow up to be Carthaginian military leaders, there's a few things you have to understand. If you fail to succeed on the battlefield, that's a crucifixion. Showing cowardice, that's a crucifixion. Hello, sir. What are you doing here? Aren't you meant to be in Messana? Yeah, but the Romans showed up. So you just left? Sure did. Oh, you better believe that's a crucifixion.
Dude.
The Roman consuls were awarded for victory, and therefore tended to be
Dude,
aggressive.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I can talk about it. It's so gruesome. But I recently learned that I watched a video basically where there was a guy that escaped North Korea. He had to do it like 4 times, and he did a tier list of like all of the worst things that you can experience in North Korea. One of the ones towards the top was the fact that once you enter middle school, you have to watch all public executions. They like fucking tape your eyes open and like force you to literally stare. So like you know what happens if you don't follow the rules. It's like, dude, that's just so crazy, man. Oh my god. Anyway.
Go-getters. By contrast, the Carthaginian generals were brutally punished for failure, and so they tended to be more cautious and restrained. This dynamic is helpful for understanding some of the crazy things that happened during the Punic Wars. So, the Roman...
One more thing about that video too, which I like don't understand, is he put it at like D tier, which means like it barely was a hassle to him. And what it was he was like in jail for like a month or something, and all he was given was 50 grains or like 50 pieces of corn a day, which is like obviously not enough to live on. So what he had to do is eat it, poop it out, and then eat it again. And he just did that every single time he pooped. And he was like, that wasn't a big deal though. It's like, what? Anyway, okay.
have crossed over to Messana, and now there was some red on the island. Hit that panic button. This turn of events was unacceptable to both Carthage and Syracuse, so the traditional enemies teamed up to kick the Romans off their island. They surrounded the city and said, "Hey, you jerks! This isn't your island! Come out of there at once!"
Okay, we're coming.
See, Phil, you just gotta speak with authority. That's what being an alpha male's all about. Hey, man. Oh, you brought your weapons and armor? No, I didn't mean... Oh, crap. Out the Roman legions came to engage the Carthaginians in battle. And they
Dude, where's
sent
all
them
this work
packing.
going?
With the Battle of Messana, whether intended or
I wonder
not,
how common that
by
was.
going to help the Mamertines, the two sides had just slipped into an all-out war. With the initial Roman victory, towns
Obviously not like actually throwing a full-ass sword, but you know, like daggers and small knives and stuff like that. I don't know.
across Sicily, including Syracuse, began switching allegiance because being a winner is more fun.
Yeah.
But the Carthaginians
Yeah.
weren't about to just give up that easily. In 262 BC,
There's like
they
constant
began
side
building
switching
up their
going on here.
forces at Agrigentum. So the Romans, being aggressive go-getters,
But again, I guess that also like makes sense. Like the smaller like your kind of territory is with your amount of people and stuff like that, you're forced to sort of make these decisions, right? It's why, like, you know, we've been watching all the other war videos, and you know, the smaller countries, when there's like a big war going on in the area, they feel very obligated to obviously just sign like a treaty to like join basically, you know, the other side that's kind of like strong arming them, because it's like, okay, if you don't sign this, then like we're just gonna freaking kill you, right? So anyway, yeah, I get it.
aggressively got them. The Romans immediately laid siege, hoping to starve out the Carthaginian garrison. However,
But man,
because
dude, there
this
are
was
some
the first time
rats
Rome
here,
had been
huh?
fighting outside the Italian peninsula, across the water, they struggled to supply their forces. And before long, the Romans were as starving as the Carthaginians they were besieging. They had to forage for food, leaving them open to ambush. And when Carthaginian reinforcements arrived, creating a double siege, things got really bad. Everybody
Holy.
starved each other for months until nobody could take
That's
it anymore.
crazy. So we had one team in the middle surrounded by another one, and then the team that is in the middle then surrounded the other team that was surrounding the team initially. Like, what the hell, dude? That's crazy. I'm sorry, I don't remember their names. Because I'm stupid. I'm learning, okay?
Got really bad. Everybody starved each other for months until nobody could take it anymore, and they all finally came out for battle, which Rome won.
Damn.
Here's the report from the recent siege at Agrigentum, sir.
We killed 30,000 while only suffering 7,000 losses? That's amazing! We're the best! Yes, sir. Whoops, those are the wrong way around.
Oh my
What?
god.
We lost 30,000? We're the worst! But we won, right? Yes, sir. But we also got our asses kicked. Yes, sir. So are we the best or the worst? Yes, sir.
The Romans won at Agrigentum because they were aggressive go-getters, and they now began eyeing up the possibility of conquering the entire island. But they also suffered very heavy losses, and it was clear they couldn't sustain a campaign if they couldn't supply their troops. Here's the issue. Sicily was an island. Islands are surrounded by water. A strong navy would be vital for supplying troops and winning the war. Here was Carthage's navy, and here was Rome's.
What?
I think you can see the problem.
Historians debate just how much naval experience Rome had at this point. Presumably, they must have had something to defend their shoreline. But whatever it was, it would have paled in comparison to the Carthaginian juggernaut. And so Rome had to figure out exactly
That is so strange, huh? Because I mean, like, their entire area is surrounded by water. Like, what?
what to do about all this water.
They just spec'd all into like land defense and nothing with ocean or seas or ships. It's crazy.
Come on, men. We're not gonna let some pansy candy-ass water get in the way of our glorious victory against Carthage. Charge! Tell my kids I love them. We're gonna need a bigger boat. What's a boat? I don't know. If the Romans wanted to win this war and obtain Sicily, there was only one thing for them to do. I guess we're just gonna have to go ahead and build ourselves a war fleet, aren't we? From scratch? From scratch. But we don't even know how.
Never mind how to fight with one. Don't worry, Hank.
We're up to the challenge. Come on, guys. We're Romans, and Romans aren't afraid of anything.
And so, the Romans worked long and hard trying to
the
figure out
horses
how
are
on earth
so
you actually build the
cute.
latest style of warship. In the
He's
end, they
whipping
had a
the
bit of luck on
fish.
their side. A Carthaginian
God, they're just
quinquerry
so
ended up accidentally grounding on Italian soil. The Romans found it and copied the design. While the new fleet was being built,
Okay.
the Romans trained rowers on land. And would you believe it? The Romans put together a full fighting fleet of 120 warships in just 2 months. A
What?
staggering feat. Now, I know what you're thinking, but oversimplified. If the Romans can build a war fleet from scratch in 2 months, then why does it take you half a year to make a video? Well, my valued subscriber, I think you should shut up. What the heck? How on earth did the Romans learn how to build a war fleet? This shouldn't be happening. From what I hear, they copied the design from us, sir. Well, how on earth did they get the blueprint, Carl? I don't know, sir. But I'll tell you what. If you're worried about people stealing your data, no, and you want
Oh,
to protect
just
yourself from outside
incognito.
threats, don't you dare. Then you, my friend. If you mention NordVPN, I'll scream.
Oh, I am so sorry. Oh no, I just ruined his whole sponsor, guys. No, Incogni is not actually real. Don't look it up.
Should use NordVPN. Do you like corporations knowing everything about you and then selling your data
Damn,
to
that guy
advertisers who
had an
convince you to
emo-ass
buy
cut
things you
for the
don't need
corporate
in
office.
an
That's
endless
crazy.
cycle over and over until you die? Me neither. And that's why I use NordVPN. NordVPN allows you to connect to super fast secure servers all around the world, encrypting your IP address to protect your online data from undesirable eyes. That means you can look at all the squatty potties you want, and no one will know. With NordVPN, you can search
mean,
for
listen,
better
I've never
online
been
deals
interested
in
in
other
a squatty
territories,
potty,
and
but I
unlock
will
content
say,
not available
next
in
time
your
you go
country.
poop, try to just sorta
NordVPN
like
now comes with a threat protection function.
keep your knees
and
high,
much
you know what I
more.
mean?
And if you don't like it,
Just kinda
it
like
comes
tippy
with a
toe it.
30-day money-back guarantee. Go to nordvpn.com/oversimplified to get an exclusive deal with a huge discount. That's nordvpn.com/oversimplified. And as always, you'll be supporting my channel. So thank you. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, the siege at Agrigentum, supply issues, and building a war fleet. So now the Romans have a navy, and it's time to put it to the test. But how does one wage ancient naval warfare?
Yeah, I know,
Easy.
exactly. It's like building the ship is completely different from then having like actual fighting experience on the ship. So I'm curious to see if they're gonna suffer like similar casualties to like, you know, 5 to 1 in terms of like how many more soldiers die or something.
All of the ships had giant bronze rams on the front, so all you had to do was outmaneuver the enemy and give him the jimmies.
Okay,
Easy
well
as
that
pie.
sounds
And so the
simple.
aggressive Romans
But like, do they know how to drive a boat? I know that sounds simple, but like, I don't know, right? I mean, I assume their maneuverability will not be as good. I've played certain games. You play Guns of Icarus, someone has to drive the boat, man. And if you never drove a boat, it's kind of hard.
set out for some good old-fashioned jimmy giving. The consul, Gnaeus Cornelius Scipio, set out for the town of Lipara, believing the garrison there wanted to join the Romans. As he entered the harbor, however, he found himself trapped by a Carthaginian fleet, and in the following skirmish, he was completely outmatched. The Romans may have had a brand new fleet, but when it came to engaging in actual combat, their inexperience showed. There was just something better about the Carthaginian ships. The Carthaginian rowers had nicer abs. The entire Carthaginian Empire had been built on expert seamanship. So, when it came to water, the Carthaginians were better, and the Romans were wetter. In their initial skirmish, the Romans were beaten so badly that the consul, Scipio, was given a nickname, Asina. And if you're wondering what that means, just drop the Ina. So what were the Romans to do?
That's crazy,
How
wow.
could they possibly stand up to this Carthaginian superpower? Well, there's something you gotta understand about the Romans. Back when they found that Carthaginian ship and copied its design, that wasn't a one-off thing. Copying their enemies was as Roman as punishing murderers by sewing them into a leather pouch with a monkey, snake, and rooster, and then throwing them into a river, which is a thing they did. Wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, copying their
I've never heard that. I know of some like crazy medieval torture techniques. I know that is like a crazy pull for me to say, but I don't know, man. Okay, I know them because I played Amnesia: The Dark Descent when the game was like new, and there was a lot of torture devices in that game, and I don't know, it piqued some kind of like morbid curiosity in me a little bit. So then I like looked into them for like a month or two, and yeah, when I think about this of like people being thrown into a lake, I think about the one where they basically tie you to a boat, cover you in milk and honey, I believe, and then they just let like all the mosquitoes in the water and like all those different bugs just slowly literally eat you away, which is just like, God, that sounds so bad. But anyway, continuing.
enemies. Many of the most famous Roman inventions were actually borrowed. Aqueducts, chariot racing, their gods. Even in warfare, the Romans would get pierced by a Sabine javelin, and they'd be like, wow. They'd get hacked to bits by an Iberian sword, and they'd be like, wow. And they'd copy the designs for themselves. However, they wouldn't just copy it. They would advance it, finding ways to adapt it as perfectly as possible. And
Hell
in the
yeah.
case of naval warfare, the Romans realized if they wanted to beat the Carthaginians at their own game, they would have to adapt. The Romans excelled at combat on land, not on water. But what if, they said, we could somehow turn a sea battle into a land battle?
I knew it. Yeah, exactly. So the plan is literally just to jump on their ships or bring them onto theirs and just start fighting hand to hand.
Sounds crazy, right? Well, they made a couple of tweaks to their warship, and look, here they come again. They must love getting their asses kicked. Sir? What's that toll thing sticking out of their ships?
They really are idiots. Look at that thing. That'll make them blow over. I mean, look at... Bob! Bob! Get your camera out.
We know it's coming right in between him and the other guys.
I mean, how stupid can you be? Let's just add a big wooden tower to our ship that'll weigh us down and blow us over in the wind. I mean, what does that thing even do?
Oh! Never mind, he's dead.
The Romans had built a big swinging spiked gangway called the Corvus. So when the Carthaginian ships approached to ram them, the Romans would just slam them.
Oh
The Carthaginians
God.
tried going around, no problem. The Corvus could swivel.
Oh
Try going
shit!
behind. The Romans would huddle to the coastline. It was foolproof.
Damn.
Those big, sexy Carthaginian rowing muscles could flex all they want, but they were no match for the Roman mind. So ladies, you see, what really matters is what's on the inside.
God.
Please go out with me. And with that, the Romans, who had only just recently began dabbling in the art of naval combat, thanks to their ingenious corvus, had just managed to outclass the Mediterranean seafaring superpower. The Carthaginians were stunned, and the general in charge of the defeated Carthaginian fleet, well, you better believe that's a crucifixion. With their newfound control of the seas, the Romans could now more easily blockade coastal cities and supply their legions on land. Surely, the Romans were now free to unleash their aggression all over the island. Haha! Hey Carthaginians, what are you gonna do now that we're free to rampage across the island? We're gonna go inside these walls and close this gate. Oh, come on guys, stop messing around. Come out so we can kill you. No. Oh, come on. No. Oh, no. To counter the new Roman supremacy, the Carthaginians decided to engage in a defensive war of attrition, forcing the Romans to engage in siege after lengthy siege. The war in Sicily became a long, hard, back-and-forth slug. One by one, cities slowly fell as the Romans gained ground. Occasionally, the Carthaginians countered and even pushed them back, only for the Romans to rebound again. And whenever a city did finally fall, the Romans could delight in slaughtering the entire population and selling any survivors into slavery, which was pretty standard procedure at the time. In general, the campaign on land was progressing much slower than the Romans had hoped, and quite frankly, they were getting sick of it. So in 256 BC, they decided that something had to change. Hey everyone, my name's Marcus Attilius Regulus, and I'll be one of your consuls for this year. Look, as I'm sure you all know, Sicily's being a bit of a drag. Sure, I could go and spend my entire year as consul besieging one single city, but they'll never make a naked statue of me for that. So here's the new plan. I'm gonna skip Sicily entirely, take my army, and go right for the heart of Carthage itself. I'll slaughter the men, enslave all the women and children. And
enslave the children?
You'll all build 1,000 naked statues of me.
Crazy they got the monetization coin back in those days, man.
Marcus, that women and children stuff, that seems pretty evil and barbaric. No, Jim, it's perfectly normal in the ancient world. Sometimes we even chop their pets in half. Okay, guys. Looks like the Romans are coming straight for us
this shit is just straight up
and
evil,
what will
man.
they do when they get here? They'll kill us.
But I mean, they're also turning everyone into slaves, which is just so freaking evil too. Like, holy crap, man. Just like, what a time to be alive. Like the stress of you know, going to war and knowing that like if you lose, you might not die. Even if you don't die, then you just become a freaking slave. It's like, dude, if you lose, it's over. Like your life is now hell for potentially forever.
Us all. They'll massacre each and every last one of us. They may even chop our pets in half. That's barbaric! No, Rob, it's actually pretty normal for the time. We'd do the...
Doesn't mean it's not barbaric, man.
Same to them. Who'll protect us? Funny you should ask, Mary. That's kind of why I called this meeting. Who will protect us? Protect our families, our homes, our children. You guys? Don't make me laugh. Why, you're just a bunch of stupid and weak farmers. Simple-minded buffoons. Cowards. Fools. Rob here thinks enslaving women and children is barbaric. You're a snowflake, Rob.
Oh my
yes,
God.
you are. The fact is, if the Romans manage to land on African soil, we're all gonna die. A terrifying, hideous, unspeakably painful death. Is that the end of that speech? Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The Carthaginians had to stop the Romans from ever landing in Africa because they believed that would be the end. So as the Romans were building an invasion fleet, the size of which the world had never seen before, the Carthaginians were preparing an even bigger one to stop them. And in 256 BC, as the Roman invasion fleet made its way south, the stage was set for a humongous battle that saw 680 warships, around 300,000 men, fighting to decide the course of the war.
Wait, what is, someone give me the math on that. How many people is it per ship? That seems like a lot.
To this day, the Battle of Cape Ignomus remains possibly the largest naval battle in human history.
Wow.
All the way back in ancient times. So the next time your granddad tells you about the time he sank a Japanese aircraft carrier, kick him in the nuts. The Romans had a lot riding on this battle. They weren't just sending their warships, but transports as well, full of supplies and horses for their invasion of Africa. They therefore formed a protective wedge-like formation to punch through the long, thin Carthaginian line. The Carthaginian generals, however, desperate to prevent the Romans from reaching Africa, had a plan of their own. As the Roman fleet approached, the Carthaginian center feigned a retreat, luring the Romans in so their outstretched flanks could envelop them and get around the Roman corvus. A clever plan. But with such a huge battle and so many ships crowded together, the Carthaginians struggled to maneuver as hoped. And in the chaos, 3 separate battles emerged across the huge battle space.
And the Roman transfers are just chilling in the middle? No way. What the heck?
With the number of ships limiting their ability to maneuver, the Carthaginians became sitting ducks, and all the Romans had to do
I was gonna say that sounds
was
bad.
start swinging.
Yep, exactly.
The Roman center came out on top, and were then able to turn around and rescue their pinned down flanks. The Battle of Cape Ignomus was a Roman victory.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's jump in part 2. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
After the gigantic battle at Cape Ignomus, the Romans were now free to land on African soil. And so, they did. The Carthaginians chose to focus on defending the city of Carthage itself. So the Romans immediately took the city of Aspis and were then free to raid and plunder the countryside. They took over 20,000 slaves and a ton of booty. But then, some orders arrived from the Senate. Send home the booty.
Oh, but I want to stay.
No, Steve, not you. They mean the treasure.
I'm literally perfectly blocking him.
We are
Oh God,
not
his
watching
ass.
any more of this filth. So the other consul left with the booty, leaving regular.
That would be a very funny segment, assuming that there is like a teacher out there that's playing this video. I assume there's got to be, right? OverSimplified is probably used sometimes in school, right? I mean, there's no more. Well, I guess people are still probably using Bill Nye the Science Guy and stuff like that. But I wonder what all the resources are now nowadays.
And his forces on their own, and they began advancing towards Carthage. Along the way, according to the ancient writer Livy, they encountered a literal dragon. Now, Livy was a Roman historian.
Wait, what? I freaking pause the video and start yapping, and then the next thing I hear is they encounter a physical dragon?
So his account may be slightly exaggerated, but this, I believe. As the Romans continued to plunder, the Carthaginian people flooded into the city. Now, not only was it in a major panic, but it was so crowded, the people began to starve.
Don't panic, everyone!
Look, I know you're all starving, but I still have food. For me. So, you know, it's not all bad.
Whoa! You're wasting your tomatoes! And you idiots wonder why you're starving? Oh well, it's just more food for me! Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum, yum.
Things weren't looking good for Carthage. They had to do something to stop the Romans rampaging throughout their land. So they decided, finally, it was time to put an end to it. They headed out and set up on rough, hilly terrain overlooking the Roman camp, and they prepared for battle. Now, while the Carthaginians were the traditional masters of the sea, on land, they weren't always the brightest. Case in point, setting up in this position overlooking the Roman camp was just about the stupidest thing they could have done. Why? Well, there's something you gotta understand about Carthage. The Carthaginian land forces actually suffered from a multitude of different issues. First of all, since the Carthaginians were rich, they could afford to pay a huge number of foreign mercenaries to fight for them. These mercenaries actually made up the vast majority of Carthage's forces, and therefore, Carthage's land armies were a melting pot of many different cultures. This, however, meant that if a battle wasn't going their way, there could be loyalty issues.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't getting paid enough for this. You Balearic slingers better not be thinking of running away. What did he say? I don't know, man. I don't speak Phoenician. Let's get
my
out of here.
God.
Clearly, there were also language issues. The military generals tended to be Carthaginian, but they made a lot of strange decisions. For example, one of the most feared assets of the Carthaginian army were the war elephants. To a Roman soldier who had never even seen an elephant before, this was like fist fighting, a literal monster. Yet the
That is
Carthaginians
crazy.
continually kept placing the elephants in the rear, where they were no use.
What?
In a similar fashion, the neighboring region of
I mean, I wanted them to be in the front and die, but like, I mean, come on, man. I mean, like, what are you doing?
Numidia provided Carthage with the most skilled cavalrymen in the world. But the Carthaginians often chose to fight on rough, uneven terrain, where horses and elephants were less effective.
What the fuck?
And so, in this case, when the Carthaginians again chose the rough terrain near the Roman camp, the Romans easily sent them packing. Wow, Regulus, we're mere miles from Carthage. You sure are amazing. Yes, Steve, I know. Steve, what's the matter? We've almost won. I just wish I could be as great as you, Regulus. Steve, you're amazing. I mean, look at this thing. It's unbelievable. I know, but I mean like
I know.
at war stuff. I'm such a noob. My tanks always get blown up. I can't even fly an aircraft straight. Tanks? Aircraft? What are you talking about, Steve?
Bro is isekai'd.
I'm talking about free-to-play online multiplayer combat game, and this video's sponsor,
Okay.
War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. Don't
I have
just
never
drive the tank. Become
tried this
one
game.
with the tank.
Probably because I
You
just
can play
don't
as
really
more than
like
2,000
history and
battleships,
warships.
aircraft,
History's
tanks,
changing.
and helicopters.
Maybe I will
in
like this
dynamic
soon.
player
Damn, this is a
versus player
great
combat.
video and
With amazing
sponsorship
4K
for a
graphics,
channel like
each
this, now that I'm
vehicle
thinking
is
about it.
incredibly detailed.
Normally when I
and
see this,
modeled
it's like
down
a
to their individual
speedrunner.
components.
It's like a
And for
speedrunner
history
promoting
nerds
it.
like
I'm
you
like,
and
I don't know.
The vehicle collection in
Where-
War
where's the
Thunder
audience
spans over
overlap?
100 years of military development, from the 1920s to the present day. I love the detailed damage mechanics in War Thunder. You ever think about how the exact angle a shell hits an armored vehicle affects the resulting damage? War Thunder has. Every bullet and shell is simulated with realistic destruction. That's the kind
Shit
of
kinda
thing
looks
that gets
badass,
me
though,
up
I'm
in
not
the
gonna
morning.
lie.
And by using my link in the description below, new and existing users can get an exclusive oversimplified decal to make their T50 tank look extra spicy. Plus, you'll get a huge bonus pack, including premium vehicles.
So you get
and
like a Roman
boosters.
sticker you can
So
put
play
on it.
War Thunder now
That's
on
cute.
PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. And as always, by using my link, you'll be supporting my channel. So thank you. Now, where were we? Oh yeah. Invading Africa, getting some booty, and sending the Carthaginians packing. Everything was looking up for Regulus. A Roman victory seemed like it was only a matter of time. But then, Regulus realized something. He had been consul for almost a year, and his term was coming to an end. He knew that if his successor took over and he finished the job, then he would get the naked statues,
I
not
see.
Regulus. And there was no way Regulus was going to allow that. So he jumped the gun. You there, Carthaginian boy. I want you to deliver a message to your elders. I, Marcus Attilius Regulus, demand the total and unconditional surrender of Carthage. Unconditional surrender? Jeez, at least lay siege and starve us all to death first. Just deliver the message, you punk! He demands your total surrender. What? Jeez, at least lay siege and starve us all to death first. Hey, that's what I said. Well, boys, this Roman thinks we're out. But we're not out, are we, boys? No! We'll do what we always do in times like this. Hire somebody else to solve our problems for us.
No!
Darren, bring in the Spartan. Regulus's overly harsh demands had had the unintended effect of reinvigorating Carthaginian resolve. They brought in a mercenary from the famed land of Sparta named Xanthippus to help dig them out of this situation.
What?
And we all know what Spartans are like.
I do. In fact, I do. Wait, this is super cool. What?
Xanthopus showed up and immediately took charge. He had a look around and said, "You idiots! Put the elephants in front of the army so they can smash into the Romans and stop fighting on rough, uneven terrain. Find a big flat field so your superior cavalry can do their job. And what's this I hear about you giving a speech telling everyone they're gonna die? Hey, I was just telling the people the truth.
Oh my God.
You're a politician. Lie to the people." And so Xanthopus led out the newly reformed Carthaginian army to meet Regulus in the Battle of the Bagridas River. The elephants, now in the front, smashed into the Roman lines, causing disarray. The cavalry, with total freedom of movement, outflanked the Roman infantry. Thanks to this impressive Spartan, the battle was a total Carthaginian victory.
Wow.
And Xanthopus, for his
Ain't that just so crazy, man? Strategy. Like, who would have thunk strategy can be like the difference maker between winning and losing a war, huh?
stunning victory, was forced to flee Carthage because the leadership got jealous. Regulus, the Roman consul, was captured during the battle. Legend has it, he was brought before the Carthaginian council, and they made a proposition. Well, Reggie, not looking so good anymore, is it? Looks like we beat you pretty bad, huh?
Up yours, you Punic pansies!
Now, Regulus, nobody likes a sore loser, do they? No. How about this?
No.
We're gonna send you back to Rome, and you convince the Roman Senate to surrender to us. If you fail, though, you gotta come back so we can torture you to death.
No.
Okay? Okay. You promise? I promise. Hey guys.
No.
Whoa, Regulus.
No.
We thought you got captured. I did, but they sent me back to convince you to surrender. Well, should we? Surrender? No! Never surrender! Give 'em hell, boys. They're at the end of their rope. Anyway, I gotta go be tortured to death now.
What?
What? Yep, part of a deal I made. It's a long story. Whoa, hey, wait! Regulus! No, it's cool, guys. I promised. Regulus! This is ancient times. We massacre entire populations. We chop pets in half. You can break a promise.
No, Tim! You never break a promise! That's too far!
Yeah, you can, because it wasn't a pinky promise. That's the difference. If it was a pinky promise, I would agree with you, but...
And so, Regulus went back to Carthage and was tortured to death. And for keeping his promise, he was immortalized as the leading symbol
Really?
of Roman virtue. Meanwhile, after their
That's crazy. Wow.
defeat in Africa, the remaining
Yo, honestly, such a G for that. That's so nuts, though.
Roman survivors, still in Africa, were still in Africa, and they needed to be rescued. So the Romans sent their fleet to pick him up and bring him home. They successfully fended off a Carthaginian fleet, grabbed the survivors, and made their way to Sicily. A great success. But then, things took a turn for the worse. Sir? That cloud looks kind of angry. Fear not, coward. If we Romans can build a war fleet from scratch and defeat the Carthaginian Empire at their own game, why, then even Mother Nature herself will crumble before us. I laugh in the face of Mother Nature. Ha ha! See? Come on, guys. Laugh at Mother Nature with me.
Haha. Dude, it reminds me of when I was trying to swim to Inazuma. Is that the name of the place in Genshin Impact? Back when like that was new and I didn't progress the story enough. I remember trying to swim there. Or not swim there, but I used like ice to like try and walk all the way over. And then at a point in time, all of a sudden the thunderstorm just comes by and just starts electrocuting you to death until you die. It's actually crazy. I wonder if there's like a glitch to still like bypass that in 2025. I don't know.
284 ships, nearly 80% of the Roman fleet was destroyed. As many as 100,000
What?
men drowned in a terrifying act of nature. Never before
Oh
had Rome lost so many
my
men in a
God.
single incident. 100,000 casualties for any other nation would be crippling. Any other
Dude.
nation would hastily sue for peace. any other nation would spend decades trying to recover. But Rome was not just any other nation. Infamous for its unrelenting determination in the face of overwhelming odds, Rome said, well, I guess we'll just have to build another fleet.
God.
And they did. In just 3 months, they built 220 more ships. An
right.
astonishing feat. The Romans sent out their brand spanking new war fleet. And
No way.
they
No
got caught
way.
in another storm. This time, a whole nother fleet was lost. And still, the Romans did not give up. The Carthaginians couldn't believe it. Their enemy had just lost hundreds of thousands of men, had 2 fleets almost entirely destroyed, and they still wouldn't surrender. As one Roman poet put it, the victor is not victorious if the vanquished does not consider himself so.
Fair
In
enough.
typical Roman fashion, after a short break, they were once again building another fleet. However, for now, after all the disasters at sea, the focus began shifting back to the land campaign in Sicily. The Carthaginians, overconfident from recent successes, attempted to retake Panormus, but the Romans countered the terrifying war elephants by throwing stuff at them and scaring them away. Having stopped the Carthaginian advance, the road was now open to the final Carthaginian stronghold on the island, Lilybaeum.
What about that like little baby little island though to the left?
Baeum was an extremely well-fortified city. In 250 BC, the Romans laid siege. The Carthaginian defense, however, was fierce, and skilled blockade runners kept the city supplied. Progress was so slow that the siege would last another 9 years. To make
Damn.
matters worse, the Carthaginians later sent possibly the greatest military general of the time, a man named Hamilcar Barca, to the island. He engaged in a skillful campaign of guerrilla warfare behind enemy
Wait, so they just
lines.
had this guy in the back pocket the whole time? Why was he not being used earlier?
And for the remainder of the war, he was a major thorn in the Roman side. For now, with the deadlocked siege at Lilybaeum and the new Roman fleet at sea, things seem to be at a standstill, and the Romans had to do something to break the deadlock. Thankfully, the Roman consul, Clodius Pulcher, had an idea. He tried to get things moving by attacking the Carthaginian fleet at Drepana. Now, before a battle, to predict if they would win, it was common for the Romans to look for signs from the gods. This could mean observing the weather or inspecting some cow livers. You know.
So they inspected the weather, right? And they were like, wow, that's a horrible thunderstorm. That's probably going to kill all of us. And they went, that's a fantastic sign to keep pushing, and it means we're going to win the war. Like, what?
Typical religion stuff. In this case, Pulcher reportedly tried to feed some sacred chickens, but unfortunately for him, they wouldn't eat a crumb.
These chickens look
A
like they have
very
ski
bad
masks
sign.
on.
Well, he said,
If they won't eat, then let them drink! Stupid chickens! We'll observe the weather instead. Gods, give me a sign. Ignore that. Okay, how about this?
if I can get this piece of paper into that trash basket, we'll win.
Okay, if I can stand here silently for 5 seconds and do nothing, we'll win! Damn it!
Pulcher chose to ignore the signs from the gods, and in the following battle, the superior Carthaginians tore them to shreds.
Bruh.
It also didn't help that by now the Romans had removed the corvus to stabilize their ships, and without their secret weapon, it was a disaster, and Pulcher was disgraced. To make matters worse, the victorious Carthaginian fleet then went on to intercept a Roman supply fleet on its way to Lilybaeum. As they approached, however, they saw the signs of an incoming storm, so they took shelter. The Romans, on the other hand, said,
Onward, men! Set sail! We've got to deliver these supplies stat!
"But sir, those clouds, don't you think we ought to have learned our lesson by now?"
Yes, Brian, we ought to have. But we haven't.
Another fleet and 50,000 men lost
50,000!
in another storm. Disaster.
Sorry, I thought when they said
At
one
this
fleet, it
point,
meant like
there
a
still
few
really
ships.
isn't a clear
God
winner.
damn.
Sure, the Romans have captured most of Sicily and cornered the Carthaginian land forces at Lilybaeum, but the continued disasters at sea were critically depleting their resources, and without a strong fleet, Rome could not win. Meanwhile, Hamilcar Barca was still knocking about and creating even more problems. So, where do we go from here? How does this war finally end? By now, the two sides had been fighting for 23 years. They were
Wow.
exhausted. Their money, their resources, their strength were all utterly spent. The Carthaginians in particular were eager to see the war end so they could get back to trading and making money. So after the latest Roman disaster at sea, they said, look, there ain't no way in heck the Romans can come back again. They can't possibly afford to build another fleet. They're done. That's it. Recall the navy, repurpose them as merchant ships, and let's get back to making some money! Assuming the Romans would soon make peace, an anti-war faction within the government recalled a large portion of the navy,
No.
leaving Hamilcar on his own. The victors appeared to be declaring themselves victorious. Meanwhile, the vanquished were getting ready for round 5.
I
The
can't
Romans
believe it.
built another
Except I
fleet,
can.
this time heavily relying on patriotic donations from the upper classes to afford it. And once again, they put to sea. Sir? The Romans have built another fleet. Oh, for goodness sake, Clarence, can't you see I'm busy rolling around in this pile of money? But sir...
I don't care anymore, Clarence. I just don't care.
The Carthaginian politicians made a fairly lackluster final effort with a poorly built fleet to supply their forces in Sicily. But when the brand new Roman fleet caught them at the Battle of the Aegates, even without their signature corvus, they dealt them the final blow. And that
Damn, you know it's bad when they don't even got the Corvus out, guys.
was that. 23 years of war. Neither side could afford to keep fighting, but the Romans showed that they intended to anyway. The Carthaginians had no choice but to throw in the towel. The war had been long and hard for both sides, but in the end, it was Roman determination that won the fight. The Romans had spent the entire war trying to find a way to deliver the knockout blow. They learned how to build a fleet and engage in naval combat. They developed ingenious new ways of waging war. They attempted an invasion of the Carthaginian heartland, and whenever disasters struck them, they always came back, again and again. The Carthaginians, on the other hand, spent the entire war watching whatever Rome did, and then figuring out how to respond. They were much more passive, and so, it's no wonder then that when both sides were close to collapse, Rome was the one who figured out how to go that little bit further. In 241 BC, the Carthaginian politicians sent word to Hamilcar Barca that he was on his own and could choose to make peace with the Romans if he wished. Hamilcar was stunned. He felt betrayed by the politicians. Some sources say he refused to even negotiate. Nevertheless,
surprised.
terms had to be drawn up. Well, Hammy, I'm glad you Carthaginians have finally come to your senses and recognized who the true winner is. How many fleets did you lose? Okay, here are our terms. You leave Sicily to us and return all of our prisoners. You're not allowed to make war against Syracuse or her allies, and you have to pay us 2,200 talents of silver over the next 20 years. What's a talent of silver? Well, to put it in perspective, in the year 2022, that'll be worth around, let's say, 40 million US
Oh
dollars.
my God.
Ay, caramba! That will cripple us.
Wow, we got a real smart guy over here. Yeah, that's kind of the point, you dingus. Ugh, I guess I have no choice. I accept.
Great.
Oh, by the way, we changed our minds. You actually have to pay us 3,200 talents of silver over 10 years. Thanks for accepting.
Dude!
See you later.
Hey! You didn't let me say uncool! He didn't let me say uncool.
The treaty was extremely punishing, and by switching up the terms at the last minute, they enraged the Carthaginians. But still, one of the longest and deadliest wars at the time was finally over. The Romans had won. They achieved their aim of gaining Sicily, and even though it wasn't part of the peace deal, they took advantage of a weakened Carthage and grabbed Corsica and Sardinia as well. Roman expansion beyond the Italian peninsula had just begun. The Romans hoped that now the Carthaginians would forever be under their thumb. Unfortunately, the harsh terms they placed on the Carthaginians at the end of the war left a growing anger, one that would come back to haunt them. One day, Carthage will have its revenge. That's nice, dear. I'm serious, woman. Maybe not in my lifetime, but perhaps in his. My beautiful son. You are born into a momentous destiny. You shall be Rome's greatest enemy.
You'll tear Rome limb from limb. You'll burn their pathetic city into the ground. You'll slaughter their people, men, women, and children. My child, you are vengeance. Stop telling our baby he's vengeance. But he is, Barbara. He's vengeance. That may be so someday, but for now, our son has a name, and you should call him that instead. His name is... Don't forget to play War Thunder now by clicking my link in the description below. Get a huge bonus pack including premium vehicles.
That was a really, really good video. Oh my gosh. Wow. History is so cool. Like, would you believe it, guys? Ah, man. I know it's not new info for all of you watching, pretty much. I know I'm the dumb little newbie here, but yeah, this has been really fun watching these videos. If you have other recommendations, of course, let me know down in the comments. I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me. And if you want to continue to hang out, of course, you can come follow me on Twitch. Link is in the top of the description. And with that being said, that's about it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!